So today we're going to talk about smoking a brisket. This is the new smoker we got for the classroom. I'm going to do some demos with you guys to kind of give you some educational stuff while we're not in school right now. So I've got some applewood chips here. I've smoked them for about a half an hour. That gives you more smoke once the heat element actually starts to hit the chips. So if you come over here, we'll open this guy up. And this is our chip holder. And we're just going to put a few. It says in the instructions not more than a half a cup. So we'll just kind of put some of these guys in there. And then we'll load it back up as we need more if it stops making smoke. So we'll take this guy, stick it in the side here, and then just rotate it down, and you can kind of hear it sizzle when it hits the burner, and it'll really smoke will start billowing out of here in just a little bit. Alright, so let's talk about brisket. This is a 6-pound piece of brisket. You can go to your local butcher shop and ask whether you want more fat or less fat. This one's pretty good. It's got some nice layers of marbling right here. But there's just a couple funny little spots right here that you just kind of want to cut off. How can you go wrong with that? Hearing an eagle in the background when you're working on the brisket. Cut the little pieces off. Just because they're not pretty, you know. And the fat, it's been setting out for about a half an hour because you want to kind of warm up the meat before you actually put it in the oven. Get it closer to room temperature. So we got it all cleaned up. You've got a nice fat cap on here, so it'll do some good work. So as far as seasonings go, if you're at home and you don't have the ability to have a bunch of spices and stuff, you can just use a Johnny's or a Lowry seasoning. Give it a liberal dose on the outside of it and smoke it that way. What I've done though is I've taken a whole bunch of herbs and spices, cumin, paprika, salt, pepper, garlic powder, oregano, some thyme, some other stuff in there, and brown sugar. That's one of the big things, is the brown sugar will help you actually get some caramelization on the outside of it. So take a good amount of this rub. Rub it all over the brisket. It's okay if it falls off, that's why you're doing it on a tray, so you can kind of take your ends and get all that good stuff in there. And then flip it over and do it on this side. And you can give a liberal amount on it, because this is going to season the outside of the meat, but you won't actually be seasoning the inside of the meat, so having the outside good and salty is a really, really good idea. Alright, looks like we got some good coverage, and I'll just kind of press it on the table and get the rest of that good stuff to stick on there. Okay, so I'll wipe our hands off here so we don't get the seasoning everywhere. Alright, so inside of this is a moisture bin for the smoker itself, and what I have in there is a little bit of apple juice, and I reduced it down with a little bit of water, so that way it adds some flavor as well as moisture inside of the smoker. So we open this guy up right here, and we'll just slide him on top. Yeah, that's going to make some. There we go. Cool. So as soon as that starts really billowing some smoke, we'll throw that brisket inside of the smoker. So I had to turn up the temperature of the smoker to about 275 to get the smoke to really start billowing. Once that started to happen, I turned it back down to 225, and now I'm going to get ready to put my brisket in. One of the other things I'm doing with this is I'm going to make a smoked potato salad. So I'm going to smoke my potatoes for about an hour and a half. At 225 to give them a really good smoky flavor. I'll pull them out and I'll make potato salad with them once they cool. So I'm going to take this chance and really just kind of get the rest of the seasoning all over the brisket. Really get it in there. And then I'll take Get my towel, wipe the fingers off so you don't get the crud on. Open this guy up. It's really going good in there. So what I'm going to do is pull this shelf out and probably pull this one out completely. Set it over here. And I'll take our brisket, big fatty side up, put it right on the center of the rack here. Push it back, and then we'll put our potatoes on. We'll put those above and below, just because I have 6 potatoes. There's 7 of us eating tonight, so I want to make sure I have enough potatoes. There we go. Seal it back up. We'll let those potatoes go for about an hour and a half, and the brisket will go for about 6 hours. It's 6 pounds, about an hour per pound. You want to get the internal temperature up to 175 degrees. All right, now our potatoes have been smoking for an hour and a half, and it's time to test them to see if they're done. So what we do, we have what we call a cake tester here. It's when you stick it in a cake and make sure that the cake, nothing sticks to with the batter. You're gonna do the same thing with your potato. Just stick it in there and see how firm it is. And that went all the way in with no effort really at all. So we're just gonna go ahead and pull these guys out. And so our brisket has probably about 5.5 hours or so left. So we'll check on this guy when it's done. We'll see you then. That looks good. That's good.